Greetings to everyone. Today I wanted to ask if you have been hypnotized by your clients. If you've been following my work for a while, you know I have a background in hypnosis, particularly Ericksonian hypnosis. I'm fascinated by how our unconscious mind works. And there is this image that a lot of people get when they think about hypnosis, about the hypnotist doing things to the client as in form of suggestions, and then the clients follow the suggestions without any, real free will. And of course, we all know that's rather bogus, idea about how hypnosis works. But I want to use that kind of a little bit as a metaphor about how we deal with our clients a lot of times, because whether we're a hypnotist, whether we're a therapist, whether a counselor, coach, whatever it is, a lot of us sometimes forget there is a free exchange of ideas, emotional states, stories. And sometimes we as therapists, I certainly have been guilty of this, have taken on and accepted the themes and stories that have been shared with us by the client. And it's not really our job to take on those stories. Our job is to honor those stories and sometimes to give alternative stories, to give alternative trances, if you will. One of my mentors, Bill O'Hanlon, talked about trauma as being a bad trance. That when someone's been traumatized, their brain, their mind, all this set up to where they exhibit certain behaviors, emotions, thought patterns based on this trance that they are in due to this experience that they, or a series of experiences they've been through. Well, we as therapists, coaches, hypnotists, sometimes just take on those trances of our clients, and we think that we're either immune to it, or we're not aware of it, or we think if we do, maybe we can change that. But it's a real dangerous kind of idea, because anytime someone's coming to see you as the therapist or whoever for help, if you're just going to mirror back those same set of limitations, the same set of overall distinctions about the context that they're in, then you become locked within that same problem that your client brings. It's really easy to be hypnotized by our clients. And this is why, because most of us, whether we want to admit it or not, are actually really nice people who have a great deal of empathy. And particularly in that initial session when we get to connect with someone, we open our minds, we open our hearts, we open our souls, if you will, to this person to empathize and be able to connect with them, to create that therapeutic alliance, and at the same time to be supportive as they tell their story or their trance, if you will. Well, these stories we hear sometimes are pretty dismal, and sometimes they can sound absolutely impossible to change. And when we hear that, our first instinct a lot of times is to immediately go into this kind of reactive mindset of, oh my God, this is awful. Let me try to jump in and solve everything. And then as we're trying to solve something that may or may not be solvable, then we get locked into this trance, this theme that the client is living his or her life in. And we become a player in their play rather than a contributor to a new theme for their life. Uh, this is something that is really tricky. Even in, like I say, situations that may be impossible to change. There may be some things that they're problems you just can't solve. I mean, that's just the way it is. And when we keep trying to operate as a problem solver within a theme of limitation, anything that we do within that theme sometimes helps to build upon that very thing. And then we know when we feel like that, aha, we've been hypnotized by our client. And our clients don't even know it, because sometimes our clients are better hypnotists than we are. So, a couple of recommendations I just make. As we're listening to those stories, we're listening to those themes, all the backgrounds, whatever it is, however we work, when we start feeling like everything is either impossible to solve, we need to catch ourselves. If we start feeling like we've got to rush in and do something, we got to catch ourselves. I think it was someone, either Carl Rogers or someone affiliated with Carl Rogers, who said something like, don't just do something, sit there. And I think sometimes we just need to sit and be present. And when this stuff comes up for us, rather than us get sucked into this theme, to just breathe, let it go through. That as much as we want to help this person, our trying to jump in and change a theme, a trance that has already been set from the inside of that is going to have little to no change, little to no outcome, and a lot of frustration for both the client and the therapist. So we find that we're in that, we find there's no way to get out. I recommend this other thing. Ask about something totally unrelated to the trance or theme that they're going on. Sometimes the random is what creates new patterns. I mean, you see it in biology. You add something random, new patterns are created. So maybe asking about something that has nothing to do with their problem, and then taking that somewhere outside of that theme, that trance that they're in, and letting that drift a little bit. My friend Rob McNeely says it's important to let you and clients to drift a little more. When you're too rigid on solving and getting in the outcome real quick, you miss a lot of things. That drifting may open up access to new resources. So ask them about what kind of music they like. Ask them about what's their favorite room in their house. Ask them about their favorite car. Ask them about what's one thing about them that would surprise you, because our job is to get to know them. So asking these kind of questions are not always a bad thing. And you may find, if you're creative enough and you aren't already hypnotized by your client, that opens up a lot of opportunities to grow and flow and possibly create the very things that our clients need, rather than to buy into the trance that they're already in. So anyway, I hope these little snippets of info from me help you or give you some reason to thought. If you please feel free to leave comments. Hit the subscribe button if you really want to stay up to date on the videos. I hope you have a great day, and always thanks for watching.